Back with the Tri-State Sports guys. It's time for the top 10. Coach Island, after I don't know where he had to find time to do all this.
You know, he brainstorms. Sometimes you just need to release. You know, maybe he takes baths like I take baths, and he just says,
God, I hope not.
Thinks up top 10 lists.
That's
what I call my top 10.
Now it's gotten very weird. Move on.
That's what I call
second week in a row that's come up.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks too many. Talk to me about
our fifth top 10 for 5 and 10 should always be bath talk with Mike Bob. Look,
move on, please.
This came from Coach Sean. He was talking about. We talked about the BCS because it was right after that crazy weekend, and he said, you know, he thought it was stupid the way the BCS works, and it was one of the stupidest rules in all of sports. So he said, you know, you guys should do a top 10 of just top 10 worst rules in all of sports. So it could be any, you know, everyone to define rules, whether it's, you know, the BCS type thing or actual rules of a sport. So you want to go first?
You go right ahead.
All right, I'm going to go. I'll kick it off. I think I talked about this with you, or maybe I talked about on the show, the Lost Tapes with Moose, but I have a problem with the fact that in baseball, the best team doesn't play the wild card team if the wild card's in the same division. It just frustrates me. You go out, you have the bet, like, you know, for the AFC, the AL East, you know, you play your ass off to win that division. You know, you then have to go play another division winner. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It just, to me, it just frustrates me.
Although that's been changed now, right?
It's going to be. I don't think it has been changed officially yet, though. I think it's going to kick in 2013.
Okay.
When they do that new wild card playoff. But that's a frustrating rule to me.
I got you. You're right.
Number 9, I got the leave the bench rule in the NBA. The fact
you don't like that rule?
I forgot about that one.
No.
Remember,
you want brawls.
Well, no, but I mean, do you remember how crazy it was in that playoff series?
It's a little too strict.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want there to be guys going. They overreacted about the guy, you know, the fight up in the crowd, and now it's you step a foot on the court just to see what's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
You're suspended. That's a stupid rule.
That's a good one.
Number 8, I'm going to go, it's in honor of Stevie Johnson, I'm going to go into I think the touchdown celebration irregularities, because it makes no sense. He did the whole dance, shooting his leg, did all this stuff, and that would have been fine, but just because he fell to the ground, it's a penalty.
How about in college, if you're doing it on your way, they take the points off the board?
Yeah, right. Well, it comes from one of my other bad rules.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But, I mean, they allow people to jump into the crowd, that's fine.
Yeah, the Lambeau Leap.
The Lambeau Leap is completely fine. It makes no sense. Just let people dance, or just
don't let any of them dance.
Right. Remember last year Jason Witten fell down, like literally accidentally, like jumped up, bumped into one of the guards, and just fell down, and then they wound up costing the Cowboys a game. It's so stupid. Number 7, and this is a baseball thing, and you might have the reason why this is, because you know a lot more about baseball, although we're both baseball fans.
Get out of here.
Why is a drop third strike the batter allowed to?
I know the answer.
It makes no sense.
It makes a little sense.
And then, right? Well, how does it make sense? If the first base is occupied, you can't run.
Well, I don't understand why.
I'm sure it's some old rule, but I mean, just
I don't understand why it's not all the time. The reason why I had that, and then I was like, well, the reason why I can understand is because every out needs to end with somebody catching the ball. Every out.
Except when a guy's on first base.
Well, that's what I said. I didn't understand why it's not every drop strike 3 is a live ball, and it's only when the first base is open. But every other out needs to end with a guy catching a ball, and no matter what. So that's why I understand why they're allowed to run. I don't understand why they can't always run.
Right. So that doesn't make any sense. If you were to tell me that was the reason why, which is
it's not a great rule. I thought you were going to go with, you've asked us before, why managers wear uniforms. But I've already explained that to you.
Right. That wasn't a stupid rule. It doesn't bother me that much. All right. I don't like, number 6, I don't like the fact, the down by contact rule in college football.
Yeah, I have that too.
That is.
I mean, it's in high school too. It just, to me, I don't see the benefit of it.
Yeah.
That makes it, I would catch
That's my number 9.
All right, so that's my number 6. Number 5, this is actually what Moose had said on the show, and I completely agree with him. How come the third to first move is not a balk? When if you look at the definition of the rule for a balk, it's any attempt to deceive the runner. How is it not deceiving the runner?
That's a good one.
Stepping to third base and spinning around and throwing the first base.
Every
lefty balks every time.
Every pickoff move is designed to fool a guy. Otherwise, why would you be picking?
Yeah, unless you're stepping off the bat, which nobody does.
Yeah.
You do the spin move if you're a righty. If you do the move as you're a lefty,
I agree.
You're always trying to deceive the runner.
I agree.
So to me, the balk rule's got some problems. Number 4. This is Deshaun Jackson from a couple weeks ago. if you taunt and it's a play that doesn't result in a score, and you taunt after the play, they nullified that whole play. Deshaun Jackson caught a 50-yard pass. He's down on the other side of the field. He flips the ball at Perry Fuel. Does his little dance. It was offsetting penalties. There was a holding on the offense. Offsetting penalties, replay second down.
Because it's offsetting, that's why it comes back. Yeah.
But how is that? It's after the play.
I don't know why.
Isn't that just crazy?
It's a loophole.
It's after the play. It should be after the play was over. Like if there's a play, you get a personal foul or something. It's after the end of the play. How the hell is that? They send him back. That's a 50-yard penalty.
Yep.
The 50-yard penalty. What was that? Number 4. Number 3. Another penalty problem I have is the pass interference call in the pros.
Yep.
And I had this argument with my father. So I was telling him about this is going to be our list, and he goes, "Well, no, but then you just pass interference every time." Maybe then you do like they used to have the different face masking penalties. If it's like if you're tackling a guy, that's one thing. But most of these pass interferences are the guy's not getting his head turned around, he's bumping into a guy, and then they get the ball the 1 yard line if it's in the end zone. Or it's just it should just be a 15-yard penalty. It just frustrates me because so many games are decided on it, and even the last couple of years, the Jets have won a couple games.
That was my number 2.
So there's my number 3. My number 2 is. Why is soccer? I mean, maybe this is an easy answer. How come soccer doesn't have an official game clock?
That's my number 4.
It's always like they're in bonus time.
If you're going to add time for a guy who's injured, just stop the clock.
Just show it or something, because you're always. I never watch other than when they're in the World Cup, and I was you're really into it, and I never had somebody give me, even big soccer fans, maybe Mike T can come in and tell me. I have no idea why that's a fact.
Yeah,
that just seems like a stupid thing. And then number 1, and I think it's the most annoying and the stupidest rule in all sports. How come golfers, when they have to sign their scorecard, and if they don't sign it or they sign something wrong, because you're watching the game, it's on television, they have a scoreboard, they have all this stuff. Why would you have to keep your own score, and why would that nullify it? Why wouldn't somebody say, "Oh, actually, no, remember you had a bogey on this hole"?
Exactly.
No, they're out of the tournament.
I agree. That's my number 8.
That's my number 1, because there's nothing else. Imagine any other sport you have to keep score, like basketball. You're playing I thought it was 198. How many times do you forget to score when you're playing pickup basketball? Kicked out of the game.
You should have a referee.
What do you got?
We only have 3 that were the same.
That sounds good.
My number 10. I don't understand the possession arrow in college basketball. If I tie you up in a big spot, just have a jump ball.
Number 3?
I'm hustling all over the place. Oops, arrow's not my favor. Got to do it all over again. Makes no sense.
Just gotta jump it up.
Well, you get the arrow back.
Number 9, 8 were the same. Number 7, I don't understand why pitchers hit in the National League. They're the only league in the world that they hit.
From softball, men's leagues, high school, college.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Number 6, if the ground can't cause a fumble, then why can it cause an incompletion?
That's a good question.
I don't understand that. The ground can't cause a fumble. I make a diving play in the end zone, and I caught it, and I hit the ground. Why is that? Why am I? That's not a catch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. Number 5, why in tennis does a server get 2 chances to get it right?
That doesn't bother me.
What do you
think it would change the whole thing?
It's a big spot. Oops, I got to do it again. Why can't I ever get a do-over at any other point in the game?
Well, I know, because the whole game would change on that.
What do you mean the whole game changes? Because what they do is every time they know they have 2 chances, so the first one they take some crazy shot.
Exactly, that's what they do.
But then
we're gonna have Mike T answer this one.
Number 4, we had injury time. Number 3, I can't believe you don't have this. The Tuck rule.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
I mean, cost them a Super Bowl.
That's why it
cost them a Super Bowl.
Charles Woodson, all over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That game was won. They were going to the Super Bowl that year. No doubt in my mind. Number 2, I don't understand. It's a combo: illegal defense and the 3-second rule, 3-second violation. Why can't I, as an offensive player, sit in the paint all day long?
Well, it's because Wilt Chamberlain used to do it. The 3-second violations because of Wilt Chamberlain.
I don't care if I have Wilt Chamberlain.
You score 50 points a game.
That's a great rule.
Stop him.
That's a great rule.
I agree with you on the illegal defense. I think it's stupid.
Like why? I can't play any defense I want.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but
if I want to put
second where you have to have. You just have some dude just
why not?
Camped out under the hoop.
Because it ruined the game when it was like that. The guy was averaging 50
points a game. That was because
at
the time he was a freak of nature.
Well, then how come he didn't average 50 points a game after that?
I don't know.
Could you imagine?
I don't know.
Just Dwight Howard just could stand
under the hoop. I could D him up. Number 1, the idea that you didn't have this bathroom.
You had that as number 2.
Yeah.
You hated the 3-second.
Yeah, it was more than illegal defense, but
I like it. I love it.
Number 1, the idea that umpires allow the neighborhood plan double plays is beyond me.
But that's
and
not
every
a
other
rule.
hold on.
What did you say?
That's not a rule.
Well, I guess
Where's in the rule book?
the
That's
lack
okay.
of enforcement.
I didn't hear what he said.
The lack of enforcement of the neighborhood plan and double play. And every other base, it's a combination. Hold on, there's two lack of enforcements. I don't understand why you have to touch every other base. Like they call pitchers all the time for not covering first. And
Yeah.
why does it not matter on a double play? And how come you're only allowed to run people over at home plate? Why can't you run people over at
They
first
got
base?
catcher's gear on.
What does that mean? The runner doesn't have catcher's gear on.
Guy's standing. He's just standing there. At first.
You shouldn't allow it anywhere then.
Oh, but that's the runner's choice. He wants to run a guy over.
No, he can't run into a guy. He can't run over a guy like first base.
No, but I'm saying coming home, the guy's got equipment.
Why is it only at home?
Because the guy's got equipment
Oh,
on.
that can't be the reason. That's the real reason.
I would assume.
I
don't
would
think-
assume so too.
I don't think
Yeah, I mean, if the
so.
guy running has, he doesn't have pads, if he wants to take the opportunity.
look
I
at
think we need to look more into why can't it cause an incompletion? Why can't it cause? Why doesn't?
Tony, what do we miss?
My number 10, I've only seen this happen a couple times, ground room double. If a guy's already at second or around second, why does he have to stay? If the ball goes
No,
on the
it
fence,
happens
It's
so
so rare that they allow the guy like a triple.
Yeah,
I've never seen
I've never seen
It
it happen.
happened in the playoffs, I think.
What? Did the
The
guy?
guy scored from first because he was so far past third. They allowed him.
Oh, he's talking about the ground rule double.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But what, no, I'm saying why when the guy that hits the ball?
Well, it's the same thing. They made the guy go to second, but the guy who was on first didn't have to just go to third. They let him score because they were like he was so far past. And it should happen a lot more. But like umpires almost like don't want to make the call because they're just lazy.
Right. Well, right.
Fat
It's
and
a
lazy.
safer. It's a safer call. Yeah.
My number 9 was the DQ for onside scorecard in golf. 8, somebody mentioned college football.
Yeah.
The 1 foot in bounds thing is stupid. I mean,
Why?
if you're gonna, I mean,
Yeah, I don't like that rule either.
NFL you gotta have both feet in. Why not just make it
Yeah,
college?
I mean,
I don't mind it, but I hear it.
Why not make the
it
college?
makes no sense.
Yeah.
1 foot.
And the advancing the ball. Number 7, I had college and NBA 3-point lines.
Why are they
not?
the same?
Why are they not the same?
In college, it's so short. I mean, you see there's guys, everybody makes 3-pointers in college.
What's the point? It's not that much further back. I mean, it's a college kids.
It kind of ruins the
fair.
game because you watch these games and teams are shooting 40 3-pointers because it's right there.
My number 6 was no prop celebrations in the NFL. Similar to what you said. Number 5 is the lottery system in the NBA. For the draft, like,
It's a little too much.
it's stupid.
It's more complicated. When I looked it up because we want to do it in our fantasy baseball league, it's so complicated. It's even more complicated than you think. It's like this guy gets this. It's not just like the number one worst team gets 20 balls and it's 19 down. It's a very weird formula.
Easier way to do that. And my number 4 was the All-Star game determined in whole field in baseball.
I thought about that.
Yeah. My 3, 2, 1. You guys are.
It's dumb, but it doesn't frustrate me enough. It's dumb, but it's also dumb that it used to be every other year. We've talked about a lot of different things. I mean, it is dumb though that a meaningless game where you're trying to get everybody in and for the fans,
counts for something like that.
Why do you get
helped the Cardinals this year?
Why do they give people technicals for timeouts they don't have?
I don't know.
Like if a guy calls a timeout, you don't have it. Like think about you playing like a PlayStation game. You try to call a timeout, you don't have one. There's nothing happens.
Yeah, that makes no
No,
sense.
you get a technical foul. If I hit selected, if I call a timeout, you get.
In Madden,
in
maybe that's a new
basketball.
one.
In basketball, you get free throws.
But it shouldn't be.
No.
The guy should just ignore you. Timeout.
Video games are smart now. They don't even
No, you should be like
button.
the referee. You're screaming
foul.
timeout at your
Yeah,
team
all
is
the time.
screaming timeout at the referee. He just ignores you.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's annoying. There's a couple of my dad, when I asked him, his rule was, you guys got to run out home runs. I couldn't give a real answer. Why do they have to run? I mean, it would be weird if you see a guy hit a home run and
Just walk away.
Happens in softball.
It happens in softball all the time. There's no better feeling than hitting one and not moving out of the
How
box.
come there's no illegal celebrations or yellow cards or any of that in soccer? Those guys play
They
dead
do the
fish.
fake
Yeah, they
fish
play
and
dead
stuff.
fish. They do everything. They take their shirts off. Literally take their shirts
The
off.
girls take their shirts off. No.
Just a thought.
Can't even take your helmet off in NFL.
Yeah.
I'm sure we missed something. Be sure to hit us. I'm sure
I'm
Cowboy
sure-
will hit us on something. He's
Yeah,
always
tennis fans can be all over you about the double fault.
Double fault makes no sense. P hitter will probably hit us on
They'll
that.
be all over you.
We'll be back with the 5 and 10. I'm looking forward
Yeah, let's
to
do it.
We're Tri-State Sports guys.